What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. Pretty much there's been more of like a discourse, I think, when it comes to being online, especially over on X. When is there not a discourse? Let's put it like that. But the discourse is pretty much who should be winning the Women's Royal Rumble this year. I think there's been a discourse between Bianca and Liv. I think it's very split when it comes to those two women because I do feel like one of those two women are going to be the ones to walk out of Saudi Arabia with the victory. But let me pretty much be honest here, and I'm gonna make this video pretty much talking about why I don't think Bianca should be the one winning the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble this year. Now, I know this is gonna probably upset some people, especially if you people are fans of Bianca. Don't let's not get it twisted. I'm a fan of Bianca myself, but however, I want to make this video pretty much talking about why I don't think she should be the one winning this year, and it should be Liv over Bianca this year. So definitely we're gonna make that video here today. But comment down below, let me know who you think out of those two should be the main one winning this match, and everything like that. And maybe after I make this video, maybe you can give me your thoughts and opinions if you maybe agree with what I'm saying or you maybe do not agree as well. Let me know in the comment section down below as well. But first off, let's pretty much put down what everything's been happening. So pretty much we know Liv Morgan came back at Survivor Series. She's been on a roll since then. She's in the Judgment Day storyline. Looks like she's potentially going to be something between her and Raquel brewing, and it still looks like that to be the case. It looks like she's starting to slowly but surely start to take everything away from Raquel. Looks like she's gonna probably get a world title opportunity. It looks like for right now, from what I'm seeing, it looks like maybe Roxanne is starting to side a little bit more with Liv than she is for Raquel. So that's gonna definitely cause some friction for sure. Now, anyways, we look at Bianca. Bianca is gonna come back, and I think she's automatically gonna go after Jade Cargill potentially at WrestleMania. Now, I think you can all safe to say that it really just depends on her injury and where she's at as far as recovery, because the last time I remember anything, I think she put something on her social media talking about potentially having to get surgery on that. And if she hasn't gotten the surgery yet, that's gonna delay her return even more. But I can see WWE pretty much, having her say all these things to really throw the fans off. So it makes it even better when she does make her Royal Rumble return, because I do think that's where she's gonna potentially make her return. But I don't think she should be winning the 2026 Royal Rumble. For one, and this is my personal opinion, I've never really been a fan of the people coming back from injury and automatically winning the Royal Rumble. We've seen it with Charlotte. We've seen it with previous people. Now, there's been instances where it's worked over the course of a couple of the WWE in the past few years, but I'm not always a big fan of doing so every single time. When somebody goes out, they come back, automatically win the Royal Rumble, and they're going on to WrestleMania. I much rather want to see them have a story arc when they do make the return. If they don't win the Royal Rumble, have a story arc for them going into whatever their match or whatever the destination is for this person, right? So I think she should not be winning the Rumble. I think if anything, give her a storyline going into WrestleMania with Jade. There's other ways you can get to the outcome, which is to have her and Jade Cargill at WrestleMania for the WWE Women's Championship. But I also think on top of that, here's a fun fact for you. In recent years, when it comes to the Royal Rumble, at least for the women, it's very ironic that every single winner pretty much goes after the SmackDown title. I'm gonna go run down pretty much the history of the Women's Royal Rumble, and this is pretty much what ended up happening. We've seen Asuka win the first one in 2018. She ends up winning the Royal Rumble and goes on to face Charlotte at WrestleMania 34 for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We've seen it the next year when I think, if you guys can let me know if I'm wrong, but I think Becky, she won the Royal Rumble. I think she was going to go after Ronda Rousey, but pretty much Charlotte ended up interfering, and then pretty much ended up going into a triple threat. Then go into 2020. We ended up seeing pretty much Charlotte win the Royal Rumble, and she went after the NXT Women's Championship that year. We go on to 2021. We see Bianca Belair, who just was called up probably a couple months ago at that point. She goes on to win the Royal Rumble, and then she ends up challenging Sasha Banks at WrestleMania 37 in the main event of night one for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We go on to 2022. Ronda Rousey chooses the SmackDown Women's Championship after winning the Royal Rumble against Charlotte Flair. And we go on to 2023. Rhea Ripley pretty much continues the streak and wins the Royal Rumble. She goes on to challenge Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship that year. And we go on to Bayley, who won the Royal Rumble in 2024. She goes on to challenge Io Sky for the Women's Championship, who was over on SmackDown because Damage Control was a part of SmackDown at this time. Then, if you want to talk about last year, 2025, Charlotte Flair made her return from injury, and then she ended up going on to challenge Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, this is, if you guys aren't following, it is a pretty much a thing that they've been doing for the last couple years, where the Royal Rumble winner ends up choosing the SmackDown title. I would love to see WWE in 2026 change it up, have somebody win the Royal Rumble and challenge for a Raw title. And I think if you're gonna have something going on the Raw side of things, the biggest storyline right now is the Judgment Day stuff outside of like the Rhea and Io tag team. Outside of that, I think the Liv Morgan, story arc that they're doing right now is probably one of the bigger storylines on WWE on the Monday Night Raw side of things. So why not pull the trigger on that and have her win the Royal Rumble, have her go on to compete for the World Championship? And here's another thing, and I think I made reference to this in a couple videos. Liv Morgan is a top star, whether you want to admit it or not, but she's the only top star that has not won a Rumble, Chamber, or has not walked into a WrestleMania as a world champion, let alone has she ever competed for a world championship at WrestleMania. If you think about it, think about all the top stars that we have in WWE right now, from Asuka, from Bayley, to Charlotte, to Rhea, to Io, to Becky, to Bayley. All these top stars, all of them have pretty much walked in as a champion at WrestleMania. They've won championships at WrestleMania. They either won the Rumble or Elimination Chamber. Liv Morgan is a top star and is in the conversation with those women, but unfortunately she has not been able to stamp that get like the WWE stamp of approval yet, because she has not won the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber to officially go to WrestleMania to compete for a world championship. And I think that is something that WWE needs to change in 2026. I honestly feel like it is long overdue for her to potentially win a Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber. Me personally, I prefer the Royal Rumble. Now, I know there was also a discourse online as well, because people were saying whether she wins the Rumble or Chamber, she's still going to get to WrestleMania. Now, here's my thing with that. And I can understand where people are coming from in the sense of she's still going to get a WrestleMania match, which is true. But the thing is that I want people to understand, when it comes to the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, they're both different in how they are viewed in high regard. The reason I say that is because, if you want me to be honest, the Royal Rumble is seen as a big deal, right? It is seen as a big deal. They treat it as a big deal, and you go on to WrestleMania, right? Elimination Chamber, in my personal opinion, does not get the same love as the Royal Rumble. And I do want to see, if she does go to WrestleMania and have her moment, I want it to be a big deal. Now, granted, she's been in previous Elimination Chamber matches. She's had some great performances in Elimination Chamber matches, but I prefer them to have her win the Royal Rumble, because I just feel it is the bigger deal, and you can make a bigger... I just feel like it's overall a bigger deal, if you ask me. But you guys can let me know if I'm wrong. But those are just some of my points of why I think Liv Morgan should win the Royal Rumble. It's long overdue. Bianca, I don't want to see another two-time Royal Rumble winner after we've seen Charlotte just win her second last year, and just having two back-to-back winners winning their second Rumbles, and on top of that, both of them come back from injury. I just wouldn't really personally want to see that. I want to see something different, have somebody else actually who hasn't had an opportunity to win it yet win it and do so. But that's just my personal opinion. But you guys can comment down below. Let me know, how do you guys feel in the comment section down below. Road to 2,000 subscribers, ultimate goal is 10,000 by the end of 2026. You guys can follow me on my social media platforms, where it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, anything. You guys can follow me on my social media platforms as well. But with that being said, hope everybody has a great day, great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.